Georgia dream of, or how are these dreams being trampled by the streets? This past weekend, parliamentary elections were held in Georgia. Contrary to the will of the US and Brussels, the ruling party won 54% of the votes. The opposition tried to dance the lezginka to a pro-Western tune, claiming it was stolen, but it was very unconvincing. So the West's well-oiled mechanism for toppling unwanted governments clearly failed. Protest actions are becoming less and less convincing. Making noise since last weekend promised a powerful wave, but it turned out to be a modest concert. And among the protesters, there are more Europeans than Georgians. Irish journalist Che Boos discovered fake protester tourists at the rallies and published evidence on social network X. Do you speak English?
A little, yes.
Where are you from?
From Italy.
From Italy? Wow! Are you an Italian with Georgian roots?
No, we are from a human rights activist movement in Italy. This is how we respond to the election.
The pro-Western opposition's loss was obvious from the start. The Georgian people feared dragged into war following Ukraine, so they cling to the ruling party Georgian Dream with its independent stance. In relations with the West, there is nothing extraordinary in these results. The ruling party's popularity is quite explainable by good economic results in recent years and its energetic election campaign. A representative from our country also monitored the election process. Here's what he told the first news outlet.
Throughout the entire election day, I did not record, as an observer, any violations at the polling stations. The atmosphere in society was calm when analyzing the situation on the streets and talking to ordinary citizens. Everyone is interested in the stable development of the republic, whatever may be in society. Very serious political upheavals, but what we saw in the media, of course, is the picture that was later artificially created, I think, at some polling stations to accuse the Georgian leadership of alleged violations.
After the voting, but before the results were announced, these kinds of shots appeared. The opposition refused to acknowledge their loss a priori and was clearly prepared in advance. They claimed massive falsifications. However, like some alleged Russian trace, they just sensed it.
It doesn't matter that we have no evidence of Russian interference in the elections. The US didn't have any either. It's always very difficult to demonstrate. No country has been able to demonstrate this. Even the United States, when Russia and other European countries interfered in their elections. Therefore, we cannot demonstrate more than countries that are much stronger to demonstrate the hybrid attacks they are subjected to. But what's important is not what we demonstrate from the outside, but what the Georgian population knows, feels, and sees.
After the Georgian elections, the West was suddenly alarmed. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated on social media that the Georgian people have the right to know what happened during the voting. Although what happened, people made a choice not in favor of the West, which imposes, for example, LGBT, and the West cannot accept it. The head of EU diplomacy, Josep Borrell, demanded an investigation into election violations, while the OSCE recognized them as democratic.
Further consequences, if the country does not change its... Today we see how the West pressures the state of Georgia or Moldova. The US, the European Union, and Poland stated that they simply did not like the election results in Georgia. So the votes need to be recounted because the choice of the Georgian people is not in favor of Western countries.
In general, an unprecedented situation of deep conflict between the president and the government has developed in Georgia. The current president, once a citizen of France and a French diplomat, was born in Paris, studied there, and also in the USA. She was the French ambassador to Georgia, and then Saakashvili appointed her to manage the Georgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then the presidential chair. Is it conceivable for the president of the USA to be, for example, a citizen of another country, or a very recent former citizen? In the USA, this is not allowed. In countries that need to be deprived of independence, it is mandatory. Foreign officials in high positions: President of Moldova Maia Sandu, a citizen of Romania; Tumas Hendrik Ilves, former President of Estonia, a U.S. citizen; Valdas Adamkus, former President of Lithuania and a U.S. citizen; Vairovich Freiberga, former President of Latvia and a Canadian citizen. This list can go on for a long time. Why is the current Georgian government so displeasing to the West? It doesn't dance to the American Brussels tune, preferring its own folk music. The current government has started a fight against foreign influence agents. Georgia has one of the highest per capita rates in the world. 25,000 assets, 90% of which receive funding from foreign sources. The line of confrontation is drawn. Will Georgia be let go? Judge for yourself. Georgia has geopolitical and strategic significance. A route for oil and natural gas transit. And the West is against the Georgian Dream in any of its national manifestations. That's democracy for you.